The night was cold. Rain fell slowly from the dark sky, making soft sounds on the empty streets. Lights flickered. Most people had gone inside, but someone was still there. In a dark corner, near a trash bin, a strange figure sat. Alone. Her clothes were torn. Her hair was wet. Her eyes glowed a little in the dark. She was not human. She was scared. She looked up at the sky. The clouds moved like they were hiding something. Her lips moved slowly. Why did you leave me? Her voice was soft, broken. Her name was Ziria. She was not from Earth. She came from a far planet, many light years away. But now she was alone and thrown away like garbage. People walked past her. No one stopped. One man looked at her and turned his face quickly. A woman crossed the road just to avoid her. Some children pointed and laughed. They thought she was wearing a costume. Ziria did not cry. Maybe she had cried. Too much already. Her silver skin was covered in dirt. She tried to speak to someone, but her words were strange. Please, help me. No one understood. Suddenly, a car splashed dirty water near her. She didn't move. Her body was weak. Her hands were shaking. Her stomach hurt. She had not eaten in 2 days. A flash of memory hit her. Flashback, she was on a ship. Her family stood around her. You are not like us, her aunt said. You are broken, her uncle shouted. You are a danger to our planet, her sister whispered. You must go. Ziria cried, but I'm still family. Her mother looked away. Then they opened the ship's gate. They pushed her out. The stars watched in silence as the ship disappeared into space. Back to present. Now she was on Earth, lost, weak, dirty. But then something changed. Someone saw her. A young man named Ethan was walking home from work. He was tired and wet from the rain, but when he passed the alley, he stopped. Something caught his eye. A small glow in the dark. He turned his head. At first, he thought it was just a sick woman. But as he stepped closer, he saw her face. Her eyes were silver. Her skin not human. His heart beat faster. He took one step back. But she didn't move. She looked at him, slowly with pain. Please, don't go. Her voice was soft like a whisper. Like the wind through broken glass. Ethan didn't run. He looked at her again. She didn't seem dangerous. Are you okay? He asked. Ziria blinked. She didn't understand the words, but she could feel his voice was kind. He slowly took off his jacket and offered it to her. She was freezing. She took it with shivering hands. I don't know what's going on, Ethan said, half to himself. But I can't leave you here. Ziria tried to speak. You help me? Ethan nodded. Yeah, let's get you out of this rain first. He helped her stand. She was weak. She almost fell, but he held her. She looked so light, so tired, like a bird with broken wings. As they walked away, a pair of red eyes blinked in the dark. Watching from the rooftop above, a shadow moved. Someone, or something, had found her. Final narration, voiceover style. She came from the stars, but even the stars had abandoned her. On Earth, she was nothing more than a shadow. But someone saw her, someone who did not care where she came from, only that she needed help. But in helping her, Ethan had no idea what was coming next, because Ziria was not just any alien. She was the key to something far bigger and far more dangerous. Rain had stopped, but the night was still cold. Streetlights blinked. Somewhere in the city, silence held its breath. Ethan walked quickly, holding the strange girl close. She was light, like air. Her skin felt colder than ice. Her silver eyes were half closed. She was still awake, but barely. He didn't know who or what she really was. But he knew one thing: she needed help. They reached his small apartment. It wasn't fancy, just one room, a couch, and a kitchen corner. but it was warm and dry. Ethan placed her gently on the couch. She looked around the room slowly, like every object was strange to her. Her eyes stopped at the ceiling fan. "It spin," she whispered, pointing. Ethan gave a small smile. "Yeah, just a fan." She blinked, as if learning a new word. He went to the kitchen and poured some warm soup in a bowl. Then he returned and gave it to her. She held the bowl with both hands like it was treasure. But she didn't drink it. She sniffed it. Then her face turned a little sad. "No, not my food." Ethan sat across from her. "Right, you're not. From here, are you?" She didn't answer. Just looked down. A few seconds later, she looked up again and said, "Name, Ziriah." Ethan nodded slowly. "Ziriah, I'm Ethan." She repeated softly, "Ethan." Her voice was soft, musical, like wind through metal. That night, Ethan gave her a blanket and let her rest on the couch. He sat nearby on a chair, watching her sleep. He had 1,000 questions. Who was she? Where did she come from? Why was she alone? Why did she look so sad? But for now, she needed sleep more than answers. As she rested, she made soft sounds, not snores, but gentle tones, like a song without words. Ethan whispered to himself, "You're not from this world. But somehow you feel more human than most people I know." Next morning, sunlight came in through the window. Ziriah was already awake, standing near the glass. She touched it like it was magic. "Sky. Bright," she said softly. Ethan smiled. "That's called sunrise." She turned toward him. For the first time, she smiled too, small and shy. Then, her smile faded. She looked at her hands. One of them had a faint glowing mark, a symbol. Ethan saw it too. "What's that?" Ziriah stepped back. "Bad thing. I know want it." "Is it dangerous?" he asked. She looked at him with fear in her eyes. "They say I carry wrong power. I make people hurt. Did you?" She shook her head. "No, I save. I try save. But they afraid." Ethan understood a part of it. She had some kind of power. Her own kind feared her. Maybe they didn't understand her either. He reached out slowly, not touching the glowing mark, just holding her wrist gently. "You don't have to be scared anymore." That day, Ziriah stayed inside. She explored his apartment, looking at books, light switches, and his cat, who hissed at first, then sat near her peacefully. "Cat. Not fear me," she said. Ethan replied, "Smart cat." Later that evening, Ethan showed her the news. A report showed a strange light in the sky last week. Scientists were confused. A meteor, they said. But Ethan now knew. That light was her. Ziriah watched the screen. Her body tensed. "They come," she whispered. "Who?" Ethan asked. She didn't answer. Just stared out the window. Somewhere in the city. A figure in black stood on a rooftop. His eyes were red, glowing like burning coal. He pressed a small device. A voice spoke from it. "Target confirmed. Ziriah is alive, back in the apartment." Ziriah sat on the floor. She began to hum softly. A tiny light floated above her hands. Ethan watched with wide eyes. "What is that?" She stopped. The light vanished. "I feel things," she said. "Energy, pain, people." Ethan sat beside her. "You're not a weapon. You're just different." Ziriah looked at him. "You help me." "Why?" Ethan thought for a moment. "Because nobody helped me when I needed it. And because maybe the world needs someone like you." Night had returned. But this time, it didn't come alone. Far above the earth, in the silent sea of stars, a black ship floated without sound or light. It was not made by humans. Its skin was smooth like oil, its eyes red like fire. Inside, a voice spoke in a cold, sharp tone. "Ziriah is alive. Prepare the hunter." A tall figure stepped forward, covered in dark armor, face hidden. He was not a soldier. He was something worse. A tracker. And his mission was simple. Find her. Bring her back. Dead or alive. Back on Earth. Ethan and Zariah were walking through a quiet park. She wore his old hoodie and cap to hide her silver skin. No one noticed her glowing eyes under the shadow of the cap. Ethan was teaching her human words, pointing at things. Tree. Cloud. Bird. Zariah smiled as she repeated them. Bird. But suddenly, she stopped walking. Her smile faded. She looked up at the sky. Something is wrong, she whispered. Ethan looked around. What do you mean? Zariah held her chest. Her breathing changed. I feel watched. That night, she sat near the window, watching the moon. Her fingers moved in patterns, drawing lines in the air. Ethan sat nearby. You okay? She nodded slowly, then spoke. On my planet, we don't dream, no sleep dreams. But here, I see things. I dream of fire. She nodded. My home. My fall. A man with no face chasing me. Ethan listened carefully. His heart was heavy, but his face calm. You're safe now. She looked at him. I wish I could believe that. Meanwhile, in an alley 3 streets away, something inhuman moved. The tracker had arrived. He didn't speak, didn't breathe. He moved through shadows like smoke. A dog barked. He turned his head. The bark stopped. A flicker of red light moved across. His visor, a lock, a signal. Target is near. Her energy signature is fresh. He tapped a device. A small glowing orb floated up and flew toward Ethan's apartment. Back at the apartment, suddenly gasped. What's wrong? Ethan asked. She stood. He's here. Who? But before she could answer, the window exploded. The glowing orb entered, spinning fast. It then grabbed Zariah and pulled her down just before it fired. The blast hit the wall behind them. Smoke, fire, screaming alarms. Zariah's eyes glowed bright. She stood tall now, no longer weak. She raised her hand. The orb shook in the air and shattered into dust. Ethan stared. What was that? Zariah didn't blink. They found me. They ran through alleys, across streets, into darkness. Zariah moved fast, like she remembered how to run. But behind them, the tracker followed. Not running, walking, slowly, calmly, like a predator who knew his prey would tire. Ethan and Zariah ducked into a storage garage. They hid behind boxes. Ethan's hands were shaking. Who is he? What does he want? Zariah's voice was quiet. He is called the Black Hunter. My people send him when someone breaks the rules. What rule did you break? Zariah looked down. I refuse to destroy a world. Ethan's eyes widened. What? My power. It can burn planets. They trained me to use it. I said no. They wanted you to be a weapon. She nodded. And now they want me gone. Footsteps echoed. The tracker was inside. Zariah placed a finger on Ethan's chest. Stay still. No sound. The tracker stopped. He tilted his head. His visor scanned the room. Heat. Heartbeats. Energy. His hand moved to a weapon on his back. Not a gun, but something older. A pulse blade. He stepped closer to their hiding spot. Zariah whispered something in her own language. A soft light surrounded her and Ethan, and suddenly, the scanner's red glow blinked and turned away. The tracker stopped. He looked around. Once more, and then slowly walked away. Zariah and Ethan waited in silence. Only after minutes passed did they breathe again. You hit us, Ethan said. She looked weak again. It takes energy. I don't have much. He helped her. Stand, we need to get far from here. She nodded. Yes, but not just run. What do you mean? She looked out into the stars. I think I have to fight. The warehouse was old. Dust floated in the air like dead memories. Machines lay broken. Wires hung like vines. But tonight, this forgotten place would hold something powerful. Ethan pushed open the rusty door. Come on, no one comes here anymore. Zariah followed. She looked weak, tired. Her silver eyes were dull, and her steps were slow. She had used too much energy, but they had no time to rest. The hunter was still out there. Inside, a tall man waited. Gray hair, glasses, and a robotic hand. His name was Dr. Mason Vale. He was once a space research scientist. Fired for saying things the world called madness. Ethan trusted him, just barely. Dr. Vale looked at Zariah, stunned. Is this her? Ethan nodded. She needs your help. The doctor walked closer, eyes wide. Incredible. She's not human, but her form, her structure. It's near perfect mimicry. Zariah stepped back. No touch. Ethan raised a hand. It's okay. He won't hurt you. Dr. Vale smiled gently. I only want to understand. I think you're more than just alien. I think you're part of something the universe has tried to forget. 10 minutes later, Zariah sat on a scanner bed. Machines buzzed, lights blinked. Dr. Vale read the data. His hands began to shake. This can't be right. What is it? Ethan asked. Dr. Vale pointed at the screen. Her DNA is layered, 2 sets. One natural, one designed. Ethan frowned. Designed? Yes, the doctor said. Someone built her. Zariah turned her face away. She already knew. I was born, not made. But later, they changed me, she said. Who? Ethan asked. Zariah spoke slowly, each word heavy. The Council of Stars, my planet's rulers. They call us carriers. They choose babies with high energy. Then they change us inside. Ethan was quiet. Dr. Vale continued. They added something to her. Something ancient. A cosmic pattern. Like a key, Zariah nodded. They call it the core flame. Dr. Vale stepped back. Wait, that's real? What is it? Ethan asked. The doctor took a deep breath. A weapon. A living one. Long ago, it burned planets. It destroyed entire solar systems. Then, it vanished. He looked at Zariah. They put that inside you. Silence. Then Zariah spoke, her voice breaking. I was only 6. They said I was lucky, chosen. I was proud. But the pain was so much. Every day they trained me to destroy. They said my power was for peace, but peace through fear. She looked at Ethan. I didn't want to be that thing. Ethan moved closer, gently holding her hand. You're not. You're more than what they did to you. Dr. Vale turned back to the screen. There's more. The core flame is unstable. If triggered without control, it could explode. Zariah looked down. That's why they chased me. Not just fear, but safety. If I break, a world dies. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. She's a ticking bomb. Zariah nodded. That's why I never get angry. Never scream. I hold it inside. Suddenly, alarms rang. Dr. Vale looked up. They found us. Zariah stood. No, he found us. A hole burst through the ceiling. The black hunter dropped inside like a falling shadow. Zariah pushed Ethan aside. Run. The hunter charged. Zariah raised both hands. A wall of glowing light exploded between them. But the hunter didn't stop. He broke through it like glass. He grabbed her arm. She screamed, not in pain, but in power. Her eyes turned pure white. The air shook. Dr. Vale screamed. She's activating. Ethan grabbed a stun gun from the lab and fired at the hunters. Back. Sparks flew. The hunter fell for a moment. Zariah dropped to her knees, breathing hard. Her body was burning, literally glowing red from the inside. Ethan ran to her. Zariah, you have to stop it. She looked at him, eyes wide in panic. I can't hold it. Dr. Vale jumped in. He slapped a device on her back. A dampener. It hummed. Zaria gasped. And the glow slowly faded. She collapsed in Ethan's arms. The hunter stood again, but this time he didn't attack. He looked at Zaria and turned away. He spoke one sentence, his voice deep and robotic. She has awakened. We are already too late. Then he vanished in smoke. Silence again. Zaria lay breathing, weak. Dr. Vale looked at Ethan. She's changing. The core is waking up. The more she feels, the more it grows. Ethan looked down at her. Then we have to find a way to control it, before someone else tries to use it. Zaria opened her eyes and whispered, there's one place. That might help. A hidden place. Not on any map. A temple of the old stars. Ethan asked, where? She looked into the distance. Earth was never my end. It may be where everything began. The wind howled across the desert. Nothing but sand, silence, and sky. For hours, Ethan and Zaria had walked through the barren land. Behind them, Dr. Vale followed in a rusted rover, carrying what little equipment they had. They were searching for the Temple of the Old Stars, the place Zaria spoke of. A location hidden in her memory, not on any human map. It was said to be ancient, older than her planet. Older than Warda. It might be the only place where she could learn to control the core flame. Before it consumed her, but as the sun disappeared behind jagged rocks, a shadow waited nearby, one that knew her better than anyone. Flashback years. Zaria was 10, standing in the glowing halls of her homeworld. Her sister Celix held her hand. You're the strongest of us, Celix whispered. I'm scared, Zaria said. I'll protect you. Celix smiled. Always. But that was long ago, before Celix betrayed her. Before Celix handed her to the scientists. Before the core flame was planted inside her. Another they reached the edge of a canyon. Below, carved into stone, stood the temple. Its surface glowed faintly. Ancient technology still alive. Zaria stopped walking. Her hand trembled. She's here, she whispered. Ethan looked around. Who? Zaria didn't answer. From behind a rock, a tall figure stepped forward. Silver armor, long black hair, and glowing red eyes just like Zaria's. Celix. Ethan stepped in front of Zaria. Who is that? Zaria's voice cracked. My sister, Celix smiled. Still protecting your pet human, I see. Ethan clenched his fists. Nice welcome. Celix ignored him. She looked straight at Zaria. You've come far, little flame, but you're broken. And dangerous. I didn't come for you, Zaria said coldly. I came for answers. Celix tilted her head. And you think the temple will give them to you? Foolish. You should have stayed lost. She raised her hand. Dozens of drones flew out from the rocks, surrounding them with blinking red eyes. Dr. Vale whispered, we're trapped. Celix stepped closer. But I'll make you an offer, she said. What kind of offer? Zaria asked. Celix pointed at Ethan. Come with me. Return to the council. Surrender. And I'll let him live. Zaria froze. Ethan stepped forward. Don't listen to her. But Celix's voice was soft and sharp like poison. You know how this ends, sister. The core will eat you from inside. You will explode. You will take this world with you. Save him. Die quietly. That's mercy. Zaria's heart pounded. Her breath caught. The core inside her pulsed like a warning drum. She looked at Ethan. He shook his head. Don't you dare. She looked at Celix, and she whispered, I trusted you once. I was wrong then. I won't be wrong again. Suddenly, a shockwave burst from Zaria's body. The drones were knocked back. Dust flew. The ground cracked. Celix stumbled. You fool. You'll die for him? Zaria's eyes lit up like stars. No. I live for myself, for the first time. Celix screamed and rushed forward. The two sisters collided in mid-air, energy exploding around them. Light and sound clashed like thunder. Ancient rocks shattered. Dr. Vale grabbed Ethan and pulled him back as the fight shook the canyon. Zariah fought with fury, but not rage. She moved like she was remembering who she once was. Celix struck hard. You were meant to rule, Zariah countered. You were meant to care. They hit the canyon wall. Sparks flew. Blood, glowing and silver, dripped from both. Celix growled, You've grown strong. Zariah stared into her eyes. No, you just spent years trying to kill the only soft part of me. But it never died. And then, with one final strike, Zariah unleashed a blast of gold flame. It didn't burn Celix, it stopped her. Froze her mid-air, her armor cracked. Her body trembled. Zariah whispered, I forgive you, but I will never follow you again. And, with a small push of light, Celix fell, unconscious. The temple gates opened. Ancient voices echoed in the wind. Symbols lit the stone. The temple had accepted Zariah. Darvale helped Ethan up. She did it, he said, eyes wide. Ethan looked at Zariah, standing strong among broken rocks and fading flames. She didn't just fight her sister, he said softly. She fought her past. That night, inside the temple, Zariah stood. In a glowing room, lights floated around her. Symbols wrote themselves on the air. A voice, old, deep, not human, spoke. Child of fire, carrier of stars, you have passed the test of choice. Zariah looked up. I don't want to destroy, then learn. Control, balance. A beam of light entered her chest. She didn't scream. This time, she smiled. The temple was silent. Zariah stood at the center of a glowing chamber. Lights moved around her like fireflies. Her hair floated upward. Her skin shimmered with golden cracks. She was no longer just alien. She was something more. She had touched the core, and the core had touched her back. Outside, Ethan and Dr. Vale waited near the canyon wall. Both were quiet. Then the sky changed. Clouds turned silver. Wind stopped. A deep sound like a heartbeat echoed through the valley. Dr. Vale looked up. It's starting. Zariah opened her eyes. They were no longer silver. No longer human. They were starfire. Suddenly, boom, a shockwave burst from the temple. Rocks lifted into the air. Time itself seemed to slow down. Ethan fell to the ground. Dr. Vale covered his face. And from the dust, Zariah walked out. She was glowing. Not burning, glowing. Her steps were soft. But the ground shook as she walked. Ethan looked up at her, stunned. Zariah, she smiled. I'm still me, just more. She looked toward the stars. They're coming. I can feel them. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, a giant warship floated near a dying star. Inside it, a council of alien warlords watched a screen. On that screen, Zariah's face glowed like a small sun. She has awakened, one said. Too soon, another hissed. The core flame was never meant to rise again. But the leader, a shadowy figure with a metal jaw, leaned forward. No, this time, let it burn. Back on Earth that night, Zariah sat quietly beside a fire. Ethan brought her tea. She held it, even though she didn't need warmth anymore. I saw everything, she whispered. Ethan sat beside her. In the temple, she nodded. My kind. They weren't always rulers. Long ago, they were slaves used by an ancient race. They fought back using the core flame. She looked into the fire, but power changed them. They became what they once feared. Ethan asked gently, and you? What will you become? Zariah smiled faintly. I don't know, but I'll never become them. Suddenly, the fire turned blue. She stood, eyes glowing. They've arrived. The sky ripped open. A wormhole spun above the canyon, tearing through clouds. From it, a colossal ship appeared, 10 times the size of a city. Its shape was twisted, like it was alive. Ethan stared. What is that? Dr. Vale whispered. The collector ship, built by the Star Council. It only comes when they want to erase a planet. Lights beamed down. Soldiers dropped to the ground. All carried weapons made to capture energy beings. Zuriya stepped forward alone. The lead alien shouted, "Zuriya of the Flame! Surrender!" She didn't move. Ethan yelled, "There are too many." Zuriya replied, "Not for what I am now." She raised her hand. Light exploded. One wave. Pure, silent, and fast. All the soldiers froze, not dead but stunned. Their weapons fell from their hands. Their eyes wide in fear. Zuriya walked through them like wind through trees. "I won't kill you," she said. "But tell your masters I'm not a weapon anymore." Suddenly, a shadow fell over her. The hunter had returned, but something was different. His armor was cracked. His eyes burned red. He had upgraded. Now powered by dark matter, the opposite of core. Flame. He didn't speak. He attacked. The fight lit up the sky. Zuriya flew upward. The hunter followed. They clashed mid-air. Flame against darkness. Ethan and Dr. Vale watched from below. The canyon cracked. Storms formed above them. Every blow shook the air. Zuriya screamed, not in pain, but in power. She wasn't holding back anymore. "I'm not your tool." She punched him through a cliff. "I'm not your mistake." She kicked him into the sky. "I'm not afraid of what I am." And finally, she opened her hands, and from her chest, the core flame rose like a golden phoenix. She whispered, "I choose who I become." The light swallowed the hunter. The sky turned gold. Then silence. She floated down, glowing softly. Ethan ran to her. "Are you okay?" She smiled, tired. "For now." Dr. Vale nodded. "You've passed the test." But this was just the first wave. Zuriya looked up at the stars. "I know. And I'm ready." The stars shone quietly over Earth. The night was calm, almost peaceful, after months of chaos. Zuriya stood on a hill, looking at the city lights below. The wind played with her hair, soft and cool. For the first time she felt something she never thought she would: belonging. Beside her, Ethan was packing a small bag. He smiled without looking up. "Ready to go home?" he asked. Zuriya nodded slowly. "This place, maybe it is home." She looked back at the stars. They were no longer distant strangers. They were stories she carried inside. Months had passed. Since the battle at the canyon, Zuriya had learned to control the core flame. The ancient temple secrets had helped her find balance. But her journey wasn't just about power. It was about trust. People started noticing her. Not with fear, but with curiosity. Slowly, she helped protect the city from dangers, both alien and human. Her story spread quietly, told by Ethan's writings and whispered in the streets. One evening, Ethan and Zuriya sat on the rooftop of his apartment. The city buzzed far below. "I never thought an alien would change my life," Ethan said, laughing softly. Zuriya smiled. "And I never thought a human would save mine." They looked at each other. Two worlds joined by hope. Suddenly, a soft glow appeared in the sky. A small ship, sleek and shining, landed nearby. From it stepped a figure in white robes, calm, strong, and familiar. It was Celix. Zuriya's heart stopped. She didn't know if she was afraid or angry. Celix spoke softly. "I came to make peace." Zuriya looked at Ethan, then back at Celix. "I forgive you," she said quietly. "But peace is more than words." Celix nodded. "I want to help. To build, not break." Together, they worked to rebuild what was broken. Not just the city, but the trust between stars. The Star Council had fallen, scattered by Zuriya's courage. New leaders rose, promising peace and cooperation. Earth became a symbol, a small world where aliens and humans learned to live together. One night, Zuriya stood alone, looking at the horizon. A small light blinked in her hand, a message from The stars that she smiled. Her journey was far from over, but now she had a family. Not of blood, of choice.